Alright, thank you.
The ritual over, the dead rested once more. Rita thanked the druid, and Arlo suggested they return with them. But they refused. They were headed home to try their plant in a brownie recipe.
Are we dead ass right now, bruh? Oh my gosh.
The druid card. A wild card in any deck. Looking at the board, it seemed Merlin was missing some of their cards. Arlo would have to keep an eye out for them on his travels.
Oh, bro. I literally just bought one off of you. Give me my money back, dude. Oh my.
Short Tongue had reports of a strange creature in the rift. One that disappears in front of their eyes. It was a stealth claw, he was sure of it. They should go back to where they fought the last one and look for clues.
Alright, I'm here.
No stealth claw, but an attack nonetheless. A band of warrior frogs harassing the village blacksmith. Their eyes lit up at the sight of Short Tongue. Only they called him by a name which we need not repeat here.
Oh, I love this narrator. This narrator is so cool.
Short Tongue and Arlo returned the insult, and with more than words. The blacksmith was glad to head to Bogmire in safety. All
Oh
should have
my
been
gosh.
silent in the blacksmith's wake. But Arlo was
No
suddenly
way.
aware of a squelching of mud around them. The stealth claw was here.
It ran away.
They had won this round, but they could not leave it at that. Frog and Rat agreed to hunt the stealth claw to its lair.
Oh my, behind you. Oh my gosh, I'm like tripping it. Bye-bye. Nice.
Short Tongue was worried. A group of frogs had been seen in the rift. They must be lost and would no doubt be in need of rescue. From afar, the villagers seemed lifeless, lost in battle or to the cold.
What the hell is
But up
this?
close, the truth was revealed. They were training dummies. It was a trap.
Oh my gosh.
It was a trap. The assassin was vicious, but Frog and Rat held their ground. Injured, the attacker fled, but Short Tongue was not about to let him escape. The pair found him licking his wounds at a makeshift camp. The assassin seemed to forget his pain as he took up his weapon.
Oh my gosh, bro. What? There we go.
With the assassin defeated, Arlo breathed a squeak of relief. But Short Tongue was not done. He needed to know who had sent them. The Frog's frantic search through the assassin's belongings gave up the answer. A gold coin bearing the mark of Glubba the Gut. Short Tongue asked Arlo to meet him at Bogmire. He had work to do.
Down again.
The assassin's gold coin pointed the pair toward one path. There was no choice but to confront the warlord, Glubba the Gut.
Hey, everybody. Nice. Let's go fight this. Oh my gosh, dude. I didn't notice that. What? Frickers. Alright, inside we go.
The warlord sat surrounded by enslaved frogs and laughed at the pair's demands for their freedom. He had a surprise for his guests.
Oh my. Oh my.
The stench of the dungeon hit them as hard as its floor. A floor that started to shake, and from the shadows emerged the largest toad core that Arlo had ever seen.
Oh, let's go.
Rat and frog slayed the beast, its bloated corpse sinking slowly into the mud. Arlo felt a pang of regret. It had been a slave as much as the others.
Damn. That sucks. But I don't really care. Hiya! Hiya!
They found the warlord's soldiers celebrating the pair's defeat. Rat and frog were happy to correct them.
I dodged, bro. What? There we go. Badass is finally.
Seeing the last of his soldiers fall, Glubba croaked his rage. He was the greatest warlord of all frog kind, and they would regret this day.
Oh my. I lucky like this boss fight. I like it. Oh, straight to the boss fight. Oh, I forgot to change it.
Lover's tyranny had ended. Short Tongue offered the frogs a home at Bogmire Forge. Together, he and Arlo had freed the rift as well as the frogs. Perhaps this would be an era of peace for both.
I hope so. What are you guys still doing? He's dead! Time to gain some health. Montage.
Tuck had settled in well at Winter's Edge. So much so he planned to stay and open his own shop. He hoped Arlo might help him collect rare items to help draw in ratfolk from far and wide. The young rat was excited. He had worked out exactly what he needed and asked if Arlo would meet him in the outskirts. Arlo was glad to see Tuck's spirits finally lifted and could not refuse him. Another runestone in place. Arlo was nervous, his paws itching for his weapons. Perhaps when the war was over, the smith could craft him new weapons for such adventures, in a matching pair. At Mossbug Farm, Arlo started to regret his hasty offer of help. The farmer had seen a beast, and shouting something about luring it with bloodfruit, he went to hide in terror. Tuck grinned. He knew exactly where to go.
Oh, that's just great. They're eating all the crops.
The elder was distraught. The farmers had found their crop crushed into a trail of half-eaten roots and stems, all leading to the Backstabber's cave. Arlo found Tuck at the bottom of Blackfoot Caverns, the fruit he needed just out of his reach. Arlo's bow would make quick work of this.
Yeah, my bow.
The bloodfruit burst open as it landed on the cavern floor, and seemingly in the next second came the terrible sound of beating wings.
What the hell? What are these delayed ass attacks, dude? Hey, where did he go?
With the fruit in hand, Tuck asked Arlo to come to Longfang Castle, where they would set their trap. It was eerily quiet at the ruins. Tuck had everything ready for the trap. It only needed Arlo to toss the bloodfruit into the cooking pot. The stench would be sure to attract the beast. They only needed to wait. A high-pitched shriek pierced through Arlo's dreams, and soon the flapping of wings was upon them.
What the hell? Yo, this is not cool. It literally became an airship. Like, what? Bro. There we go. Good boy.
Tuck asked if Arlo could carve its beak from the beast's remains, the perfect centerpiece for his new shop. The young rat could barely contain his excitement and ran off, keen to find the builder at Winter's Edge, now able to build the shop of his dreams. Outside the cave, Arlo found the farmer's crops piled high. If Arlo thought it abandoned, he was to be disappointed. The warden had the backstabber cornered in its cave. It might only be hungry, but the whole village would starve if it was not stopped. The smell of the beast's dung hit him as hard as the one who made it. Arlo wondered if he could fight while holding his breath. Of the quills fell clattering to the ground. The backstabber was defeated at last. But from the center of the cave came a faint squeak.
No.
Under the rocks and dirt was a small backstabber pup. It was young, curious, and unafraid. Arlo had an idea.
No way.
The pup immediately charmed the farmers. Arlo suggested they raise it as the farm's defender, and mentioned that its dung would likely be a potent fertilizer. The elder shouted for Arlo's help. The sheep bugs have been disappearing, leaving holes in the ground, and now the prize cow grub had gone too. The warden would investigate. Sheep bugs' pungent scent makes them easy to track. The few that were left were terrified. Arlo had no sooner realized who the culprit must be, and it was upon him, a mudworm of the deep. The mudworm turned and sped away, but Arlo followed. Perhaps it would lead him to the cow grub. The cow grub moved, lying helpless in the center of the nest. Arlo would have to deal with the mudworm first. prize cow grub was still alive and mooed gratefully at Arlo. It was almost as happy to see him as the elder would be at its return. Huck's Emporium was indeed a marvel, with items for hunting, ingredients for cooking and smithing, and a tale of adventure for all who asked about the great beak on display. Arlo was sure he would be returning often.
Oh, that's actually so cool. Give me all this, dude.
A ranger had come from distant White Whisker. Gray Ears told the tale of a Darkwing camp sending raids on the rabbit village. Arlo swore he would send the bats back to their evil ice mountain. The farm's troubles, however, were far from over. Now the farmers were under attack by a giant winged beast. The elder begged for the warden's help once more. The field was too empty. Arlo followed a familiar scent. Blood. The body of the farmer missed him by a whisker. The winged beast was coming for him. The beast was injured, but Arlo could see its trail of smoke. At its end, he could finish what he started. The beast had another farmer lifeless in its talons. This would be its last. It had fled again, seeking its nest. It would not have long to recover, as the warden was soon on its tail. Nestled among the eggs in the bird's nest was a farmer, and still alive. No doubt meant as a snack for the hatchlings.
That was simply too easy. Very easy. Oh yeah.
The farmer was free, and Arlo sent him home. He would not be these chicks' first meal. It slotted in perfectly. Arlo had heard tales of this tomb. Perhaps with more runestones, he might get to see it for himself. Before Arlo could set sail, he was stopped by Robin the Ranger. If Arlo planned to go north to fight the Darkwings, he was not going alone. At the docks of White Whisker, Gray Ears bid them to come speak to the elder of the village. The rabbit's body was old and frail, but his mind was sharp. The Darkwings had made camp on Whisker's Peak. Their attack would come soon, unless someone took the fight to them. As the pair traveled towards the peaks at the edge of White Whisker, the Bat's ice castle slowly came into view. Arlo knew in his heart that one day he must take his battle there. They had no choice but to fight their way to the camp leader. Defeating him would break the Bat's spirit. Raised his war horn. Its unearthly screech seemed to stir the very air into fury. This was not the wind, but the beating of leathery wings. Defeated, but they had to warn the rabbits. Darkwings were on their way.
Who do you think you are, bruh? Nobody. Oh shit. There we go.
Gray Ears and the Elder were looking for the source of that terrible screech, but there was no time to explain. Arlo shouted to Gray Ears to get the villagers to the boats. And Robin.
No way! He just dropped on him. Oh, this badass, bro. There we go.
Gray Ears and the other rabbits were safe, but terrified. Arlo offered them refuge and a warm welcome at Winter's Edge. Arlo was as good as his word. He welcomed the rabbits, proud to offer Winter's Edge as a new home for as long as they wished. Gray Ears thanked the warden for his hospitality, but the droop of his ears and whiskers told Arlo there was a great weight on the rabbit's mind. The ranger could not contain his anger. The Darkwings had taken the warren, the rabbit's ancestral home. He could not rest here while they spread their filth there. The warden swore they'd reclaim it together. The ranger was fueled by his fury, barely pausing on their journey for food or rest. Arlo thought it almost matched his own. What once was a small village was now a foul Darkwing base, with all they needed to launch attacks all across the north.
What the hell? Oh my, now there's dead rabbits, bro, in the background and everything. It's just horrible.
And the ranger fought tooth and paw, bow and blade, to drive back the bat filth.
What the heck? Bro, what? He's about to die. Oh my, he's dead. Yeah, this is crazy.
Count Kazak had sent one of his strongest generals, Necromancer Guraz. His defeat would rob the bats of a great weapon.
Oh yeah,
The
baby.
warren was safe in rabbit paws once more. Gray Ears swore that if the Warden of the Wastes ever called for help, the rabbits would answer. At Winter's Edge, the rabbits celebrated that their homes were safe once more. They longed to feel the crunch of snow under paw. Despite all Arlo had done, the Darkwing threat was still growing. The North was running out of time. He told Leaf to call the War Council. Tomorrow they would make their plan. Arlo could not sleep a whisker. He wished more than anything that his father were here to tell him what to do. The nervous chatter silenced at Arlo's entrance. He did not sweeten the truth. The Darkwing numbers grew. They would return, and Winter's Edge could not stop them alone. He called Robin forward. Arlo was raised on tales of how the North could not rely on Southern kings. But he was desperate. The Ranger was sure King Redgi would prove different. Ordering the council to prepare for war, they set course for the Crimson Keep.
King Redgi, bro. King Redgi, bro. Oh my gosh. Yo, no way.
The Crimson Keep's dock was the greatest Arlo had seen. Robin explained it was built by master craftsmoles. He laughed, telling Arlo how ratfolk believed their king paid them by fighting huge warrior moles in an underground arena. The King card, a rare card indeed. Although rare, its qualities are not always positive. The Smith card, highly sought after for its ability to change the qualities of other cards. The King's steward, Doug, stopped them before the throne room. He started at the news of war, and then rushed away, muttering about how the armor would need to be polished. Dennis, the
Redgi!
King's brother, was also curious to see this northerner.
Dennis!
Dennis missed war. He could plainly see by Arlo's expression that was the Warden's task. He hoped they could fight together someday.
Oh my gosh, Dennis, bro. How are you, bro? How are you? Dang, he's so grown up and old. Redgi.
Arlo was nervous to
Where
meet
is
this
he?
king. He hoped Redgi lived up to all he'd heard from Robin.
Oh my gosh, he's
He
old.
did not have to wait long. King Redgi was glad to see his old friend Robin was safe, and bid him to tell his tale. Robin told of the death of his son by the ferocious Darkwings, and begged the king prepare his forces to go north. Redgi was sad at the loss of Little John, but said that was not reason enough for the South to join a northern war. The king wished them well and turned to go. Arlo stepped forward, asking what the king would do when there was no Winter's Edge to shield the South. If they sent no help now, the Darkwings would not stop at their borders. Redgi listened to Arlo tell his tale. It brought back terrible memories of a father lost and a land left in ruin. A tale not unlike this young warden's. He held out his paw in friendship. King and warden, united, could stop any foe. The southern ratfolk would not simply leave the warmth of their homes for frozen lands they had never seen. A trial by combat would prove his worth. Arlo agreed. He would do whatever it took.
No way, are we gonna fight Redgi? Oh wait, what's going on?
News had spread swiftly. As Redgi led them to the tournament grounds, the streets were already full. Villagers craned their necks to see their warrior king and this strange northern challenger. Doug was an unlikely opponent for the first round. His small stature made it hard for him to wield a sword. But when it came to fighting for his king, Doug stood 10 paws tall.
Doug is beating my shit, bro.
Doug was no match for Arlo's superior skill. Redgi could already see this would be a tournament that they would squeak of through the ages. Dennis, veteran of the Green Ward's War and captain of the Royal Guard, would be a true challenge for Arlo. The crowd's cheers for the king's brother echoed off the arena walls.